Hello, Amelia Hirschfield here. I am an entrepreneur and a mentor, and I offer private sessions to help other people grow in ways that I have grown myself. And this allows me to pass all that knowledge on that I've acquired over the years. And I've got my dog Nye in the corner here. She seems to be pretty passed out. So today, I want to talk about why you should not sign up for the private sessions. And this, I think, is important because it shows some of the weaknesses or some of the challenges that my work can present. And I think it's also important to be upfront about it because everyone's work has strengths and weaknesses. It has people that's going to work really well for, and the work's going to have the work is not going to do well with other people. And there are a lot of people who think that my work's going to work really well for everybody and it's going to set people up for failure. So I am trying to prevent that failure and the burnout and then the frustration that it comes with that. So very excited to talk about this today. So some of the downsides is the first one is that I don't offer general advice. And by generalized advice, I mean, some people will say, just love yourself. Like there's a sign on a yoga studio I saw one time. It's like, just love yourself. And it's like, what does loving yourself even mean? Because what it means to me is going to probably be different than what it means to you, which is going to be different than what it means to other people who watch this video or other people that are around you, because we all have different ways of operating. We have different patternings that we have, and we have different patterns that hold us back. And if I say just love yourself, to me, it's like, and how do I do that in a way that I get results from this? Because the results that I would get from this is probably going to be different than the results you would get from that as well. So to me, people say these broad terms just have standards. It's like, what the hell does that even mean? So I break these big concepts down quite substantially to go on a granular level. When it comes to you, where are you at with the challenges that you have? Like, how can I break these big concepts down to where it works for you, works for your Myers-Briggs type? We can maximize your personality type. So I don't come in here and just say, just love yourself. And people are like, okay, I get that. Because to me, I don't understand these big generalized terms. It's like, what the hell does that even mean? Because I believe that people are on a journey, and where you're at the beginning of the journey is going to be different than when you are a little bit further on your journey, which is going to be different than where you're at a little bit further along in your journey. And much like The Hobbit or any of these epic journeys, what they need at the different time is going to change. They themselves are going to be different. Their surroundings are going to be different. And just giving them the same advice and giving them the same tools, to me, isn't going to help them effectively get to the next journey or finish the journey successfully. So I'm really about, where are you at along in your journey, along in your quest, and how can I break down these big concepts to figure out where are you, and what do you need to get to the next journey? So if you're looking for real generalized advice, this is not for you. So that's one weakness. The second weakness is that I ask people to talk to themselves differently. And I ask them to say words to themselves that might sound strange, that they might not have ever said before. And it can sound words like, hey, sweetheart, thank you for telling me. I really appreciate you telling me that. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. And so it's starting to say words to yourselves that can sound strange to people. People can be like, I don't know about this. Is this even going to work? So it's teaches you to rewire and say things to yourself that are different. And that can be a little strange to people. People can be like, I don't know about this. But what's really interesting is as people keep saying this stuff, I think part of them appreciates it, but even though part of them might resist it a little for a little while, because it's really teaching people how to see themselves and honor themselves and see how they're contributing and see how they are benefiting, because people are often looking for things from other people or from business results or from their dog or for their family or from their spouse that they need to see within themselves first. So it's really teaching people how the hell do you talk to yourself in a supportive way? So I teach people how to do that in a very granular level. So I've got not real generalized advice. Probably have to talk to yourself a little different, which can be a little strange for people. And the third weakness, which is probably the biggest weakness, is that the model and that people and I get the most results from is a combination of the Myers-Briggs type work and inner child work. And it's called the round table model, or the 4 people within work by Mary Asumaloff. And I've been working with her for 6 years now. And the framework is confusing. The having to hear like separate yourself into these 4 different parts: the thinker, the feeler, the intuition, the sensor, and then get those 4 parts into the most used, the second most used, the third most used, and the fourth most used part. So you take these 4 parts and you separate them into what you use the most, the second most, the third most, and the fourth least. I just said most. The most, the second most, the third least used part, and the fourth used part. I think that makes sense. So you take these, and then that's how the different Myers-Briggs types are made. Is that they have these 4 parts in these 4 different combinations. So it's confusing. For me, it's a little difficult to explain. So if you see me stumbling right now in the video or other videos that I say, it's definitely challenging and a little different. So that can be confusing for people. They might not understand how to start. They might not see these 4 different parts within themselves. They might be like, yeah, that's strange, or there's no point to that, or they're like, no, this doesn't make sense. So that is definitely a weakness that I understand, and I know because I've had to learn all of this myself. So I know that understanding this work is confusing and might not make sense, or you're like, I don't get this, or what is all of this jargon? And the cool thing is you don't have to know it all. You don't have to have all the technical knowledge to get results. So I can teach people this model in a very simple way without them having to know everything, without them having to remember everything. But it does take a little work for you to look at yourself in this way. But once people get it, it's like it clicks, and then it allows you to work much better because you're maximizing your personality type rather than just having your personality type totally all over the place and wonder why you're not getting results and you're not happy and you're not living the life you want to live and you're frustrated. So I understand that these videos can sound confusing or complicated, or I get that. So I'm with you there. I had to learn it. It took me a long time. I was confused. I was like, I don't fucking get this shit. So I have been there. So I acknowledge it. And I definitely understand that. And at the same time, there can be a lot of beauty from this work if you're willing to dive in and do the work. Because I try to meet people where they're at. People want to understand it. I'll tell them about it. I'll tell them all the technical details slowly at a time. Or I tell them very little and they still get results. And, but it's really about like picking out 1 or 2 insights at a time without having to know it all. So those are some of, I think, the biggest weaknesses, if not the weaknesses that I've found in the work, and just wanted to be really, really upfront about this. So, you know, what the hell, what the hell's going on. Know that I know that there are weaknesses, and Naya, the sleepy girl here, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.